Hey guys, Itaewon Sammy. I'm back with another quick video. I thought I'd knock off a couple videos today, waiting for my train at Seoul Station, going to Busan. Sunday morning, 6 a.m. I'm just waiting for the train to show up. It's going to show up right here. So today I want to talk about a very interesting situation that's developing here in Korea, and that is the declining birth rate. This is a serious concern. So for the last, I'm going to say 8 years, the birth rate has been dropping, and the government has been doing so much to try and get the population up again, to no avail. The cost of housing, the cost of education, not only for preschool but for university, and a whole bunch of other factors, the economy, everything. It basically comes down to money. And young people no longer getting married has declined the birth rate to the point where in 30 years the number is going negative. I have noticed a drop in young kids in schools. Like, for example, a couple years ago, one of the kindergartens I worked at closed because there were no kids, and that's in Seoul. There are stories in the paper, getting my age, on the news of schools in the remote areas of the country where there are no children in the schools. The schools have had to close or do innovative ideas of like teaching illiterate older generation people just to keep the schools open. So the government has tried many things. Number one, incentivizing people through cash. If you have a third child, that child gets a free education. I mean, I see it as an educator. I see in my classes, 95% one child. I mean, I don't get into personal things and asking questions like, are you going to have another child or anything like that? But you can see it. Just one child. I mean, the child is 5 years old. They're not having another kid. Then what's going to happen? Well, one of the other problems with Korea, well, problems for the government, is the fact that the population is aging, and is aging very healthy. So you have a population that is old and that lives to be 90 or 100 years old and lives healthy in that they live a long time. So you're going to have to spend a lot of money on pension and health care, but you're not going to have the tax base of the young people paying into that pension and health care plan. The second thing is that you're not going to have people in the service industry. Here's what's going to occur. As the population declines, then what happens is less people are going to university. So the universities, let's say for example, they accept 50,000 people a year, right? Well, as the population declines, they're going to accept less and less people. So now you're going to have more and more people being accepted into the top universities, whereas right now only 50% of the university graduates graduate from the top university. Now Korea has like a 98% literacy rate and I'm going to say 99% university graduation rate. And the problem right now is youth unemployment is that people don't have jobs. You have people with master's degrees working at Starbucks. So then what the problem's going to happen in the future is you're going to have the people who are graduating university, working at Samsung, working at the premier jobs, because those jobs are going to have to be filled unless automation comes along. But let's say in 30 years, next generation, those, let's say 100,000 jobs in the premier jobs, the ones that pay really well, there's going to be less people in the labor pool. Now, what's going to suffer is the cheap jobs, the service jobs, because everybody's going to have an education and everybody's going to go after those jobs because there's going to be less people to fill those jobs. So you're going to lose the service industry. Now, that's where automation comes into play. But how much can you really automate? You still have to have people driving the trucks, manual labor, etc. So some of the ideas that I have for the future, business ideas, is working with the government, working with foreign governments, working with the Korean government, and working with major corporations to bring in semi-skilled foreign labor. And one of the ideas I have is to develop an education program in Korean specific for the business. So for example, if you're going to work at POSCO Steel, we're going to train you in your home country while your visa is being processed in the language of Korean language, but specific to that industry, so that when you arrive, you already understand the words and phrases and technology and etc. of the job that you're going to be working at. Not, where is the bathroom and things like that. You're going to learn important. Well, obviously, we're going to teach that. But what I'm saying is, educate you on the language of the job you're going to be doing. The terminology. Yeah, the terminology of the job you're going to be doing. So that's the problem in the situation that's occurring right now. We're approaching a negative population growth. I've noticed it. The news is saying it all the time. Last month, a couple months ago, the population of Seoul dipped below 10 million people. The city of Seoul was one of the most dense cities in the world, and as of last month, the population dipped below 10 million for the first time in decades. The greater Seoul area houses about 80% of the population of Korea, about 25 million people. 35 million. And Korean population is about 52. And the increase of Korean population is solely due to immigration. Foreigners who are now residents, not tourists, not visa workers, but these are actually people who get permanent resident status or citizenship. That has increased. I remember when it was 500,000 10 years ago, and now it's 2.5 million. That's quite a jump in just 5 years to a country that is very difficult to get status in this country. You think America is difficult? Try getting status in Korea. Not easy. And here's the thing. When you go to America, you walk into a store, who's the American and who's the foreigner? Because America's a land of immigrants, you can't tell. You come to Korea and you walk into a store or a business and you look at the people, you can immediately tell who is a resident and who is not. Because Korea is 99% homogenous. So the ones who are not Korean are usually foreigners. It's very easy to tell. So it's not easy to get a job here illegally. Anyway, so that's basically what I wanted to talk to you about today. The problems that's occurring and what you hear in the news about that. So I want to thank everybody who is watching, commenting, and liking. Please subscribe and like and enjoy. Itaewon Sammy. I'm out.